Have you ever felt like it was invisible within your own family? As if your needs, your feelings, and even your presence no longer matters. This feeling of being forgotten by the people we love most is one of the deepest pain we can experience. What if I told you that you are not alone in this experience and that there is a way to transform this situation? Many people go through this, especially when they arrive in a phase of their lives where they feel they have lost their place of importance in the family. Perhaps the children have grown and built their own lives. Perhaps the spouse is always too busy. Or maybe you just feel that no one else sees you as before. This feeling of emotional abandonment can be devastating. But here is the truth that few say: you have the power to change this situation. In this video, I will share with you 5 proven ways to deal with this feeling of being forgotten by the family. These are not just empty theories. They are practical strategies that have helped thousands of people recover their place of value and recognition at home. What you will find out here can completely transform family dynamics and make you feel loved, respected, and valued again. But if you do not learn these strategies, you can keep living in this painful invisibility, watching life pass as you feel increasingly isolated and forgotten. First form, direct and assertive communication. The first way to deal with the feeling of being forgotten is to learn to communicate directly and assertively. Many times, we are waiting for the family to guess our feelings or realize our need for attention, but it rarely happens. People are busy with their own lives and problems and may not realize that you are feeling neglected. The problem it solves is critical. When you do not express your feelings and needs, you remain invisible. Your family may even think that you are fine, that you need nothing special because you never said otherwise. They can interpret your silence as independence or as a sign that you don't want to be disturbed. To apply this in practice, you need to choose a proper moment and a specific person of the family to talk. For example, if you feel that your adult child no longer visits you as before, instead of being hurt in silence, you can call him and say something like, "Son, I have missed you and would love to spend more time with you. How about we mark a lunch next weekend?" Be specific about what you need and how you feel. Another practical example is with the spouse. If you feel that he no longer gives you more attention, instead of creating a climate of tension, you can say, "Dear, I need to talk to you about something important to me. I feel that we are moving away and would like us to take time just for both of us every week." The key is in being clear, direct, and proposing solutions. The direct benefits of this action are immense. First, you stop suffering in silence and take control of the situation. Second, you give your family the opportunity to understand your feelings and act differently. Third, you strengthen family ties through honest communication. And fourth, you recover your voice and personal power, no longer a victim of the circumstances. Second form, create new rituals and family traditions. The second way of overcoming the feeling of being forgotten is to take the initiative to create new rituals and family traditions. Many times we feel that we lose our place because the old family rituals have come down to time. The children grew up, the routines changed, and those special moments that just united us have disappeared. The problem that this solves is the lack of moments of regular connection with the family. When there are no rituals or traditions that unite us, each one follows their independent life, and family ties are naturally weakened. You may feel forgotten because there are no more specifically created spaces to be together and connect. To apply this in practice, you can start small and grow. For example, it institutes a weekly family dinner where everyone should be present without exceptions. Or create a tradition of calling each family member on a certain day of the week to know how they are. You can also propose monthly family tours, or even create a messaging group where everyone shares moments of your day. A very effective idea is to create what I call Grandma's Day or Mom's Day. where you invite your family to a special activity in your home. It can be an afternoon coffee, a family game, or even teach a special recipe that only you know how to make. The important thing is that it is regular and that everyone knows that this is their special moment with them. The direct benefits of this approach are transformative. First, you are again the organizing center of the family, recovering its importance and relevance. Second, you create new and positive memories that strengthen family ties. Third, you set a connection routine that ensures that you will not be forgotten. And fourth, you demonstrate leadership and proactivity, showing that you value the family and are willing to invest time and energy in relationships. Third way, develop its own interests and activities. The third form, and perhaps one of the most important, is to develop its own interests and activities that bring satisfaction and purpose to your life. Often the feeling of being forgotten comes from the fact that we put all our identity and happiness in the hands of the family, and when they move away, we get lost and empty. The problem that this solves is the family's excessive emotional dependence on their happiness and self-esteem. When you do not have a rich and interesting life, you become a needy and dependent person, which can paradoxically move further the people you love. Also, when you have nothing interesting happening in your life, you become less attractive to coexistence. To apply this in practice, start identifying activities that have always interested you, but you have never had time to do. It can be learning a new skill, such as painting, gardening, cooking, or even using technology better. Look for groups of people with similar interests, whether in community centers, churches, or even online. The important thing is to get out of your comfort zone and connect with the world beyond the family. A practical example is to enroll in a handicraft course in your community. There you will meet new people, learn something interesting, and have stories to tell when to find your family. Or maybe you can volunteer in a charity where your experience and wisdom will be valued and you will feel useful and important. The direct benefits of this action are deep. First, you recover your self-esteem and confidence because you feel able and interesting again. Second, you become a more attractive person for coexistence because you have new and interesting things to share. Third, you reduce the pressure on the family because it does not depend exclusively on them for your happiness. And fourth, you can even arouse the curiosity and interest of the family, which you will want to know about your new activities. Now, before continuing, I want to make a special request for you. If this content is being useful for you, please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any new video. And tell me in the comments from where you are watching. I love to know where the people who follow the channel come from. Your participation is very important to me and motivates me to continue creating content that can transform lives. Fourth way, practice forgiveness and release resentment. The fourth way to deal with the feeling of being forgotten is to practice forgiveness and free the resentments you may be carrying. Often when we feel neglected by the family, we develop deep hurts that create invisible barriers in relationships. These barriers can cause you to move further, creating a vicious cycle of isolation. The problem it solves is critical. Resentment is like a poison you take waiting for the other person to die. When you keep hurt, you become a bitter, closed, and difficult person to live with. This can cause your family to move further, not because they don't love you, but because your negative energy makes meetings uncomfortable and heavy. To apply this in practice, you must first recognize and accept your feelings of hurt. Do not deny that it is injured, but also do not allow this wound to define your life. Start by writing a letter to every family person who hurt you, expressing all your feelings. But beware, this letter is just for you, not to be sent. It is a way of putting feelings out and processing your pain. Then practice conscious forgiveness. This does not mean that you have to forget what happened or pretend everything is fine. It means you choose to release the emotional weight you are carrying. You can say to yourself, I choose to forgive so, and so not for him but for me. I break free from this hurt so I can live better. Repeat this every day until you feel that the weight has decreased. The direct benefits of this practice are transformative. First, you get rid of the emotional weight you were consuming you inside. Second, you become a lighter and pleasant person to live with, which naturally attracts people back. Third, you regain your inner peace and your ability to be happy regardless of the actions of others. And fourth, you make room for new and healthier relationships to flourish. Fifth form, establish healthy limits and value. The fifth and last way of dealing with the feeling of being forgotten is to set healthy limits and learn to value yourself. We often become invisible because we are always available, always saying yes to everything, always putting the needs of others before ours. Ironically, when you are very easy, people give you less value. The problem this solves is personal devaluation. When you do not set limits, you teach people to treat you as if you were not important. You become that person who is always available, never complains, who accepts anything, and people naturally pay less attention to what is always guaranteed. To apply this in practice, you need to start saying no to things that do not do you good or that are not a priority. For example, if you always take care of the grandchildren when you ask, but never get an invitation to have lunch together, you can say, I would love to take care of the children, but this time I can't. How about we mark a family lunch first? You are establishing that your presence has value and is not just utilitarian. Another example is with household chores. If you always do everything when the family comes to visit you, stop doing it. Let them help or at least recognize the effort you make. You can say, today I would just like to enjoy your company. How about we ask for food or each contribute something? This shows that you value your energy and time. The direct benefits of this change are impressive. First, you recover your personal value and self-esteem. Second, you teach your family to treat you with more respect and consideration. Third, you reduce the tiredness and stress of always being giving without receiving. And fourth, you become a more interesting and desired person because it's no longer available. Now you have 5 powerful ways to transform the feeling of being forgotten by your hands in your hands. Remember, you are not invisible, you are no less important, and you deserve to be loved and valued. Sometimes we need to take the reins of the situation and show our family how important and valuable we are. The change begins with you. Don't expect others to change first. Start applying these strategies today to your life today. Be direct communication, the creation of new rituals, the development of self, interest, the practice of forgiveness, or the establishment of healthy limits. Every little action you take will add to a great transformation. Your family loves you even if sometimes you don't show the way you would like it. But you have the power to improve these relationships and recover your place of importance. Believe in yourself, value yourself, and take the necessary attitudes to create the family life you want. Now I want to know about you. Which of these 5 forms made the most sense for your situation? Which will you start applying first? Share in the comments your experience and your questions. Let's create a support community where we can all grow and strengthen together.